So you may sit over here now, and I think that there are some instrumentalists coming too. Are the rest of the instrumentalists coming? For sure? How come they're not here? Okay, so meanwhile, while we're waiting for the instrumentalists, I'm just going to explain a little bit about this second half of the show. So I didn't know that campaign songs was a thing. So Mr. Pakalak had the idea that, well, with all this stuff about the election going on in the news, maybe we should do a show about voting and about politics and voting. And so I started researching, and I found, songs about presidents and things. And then I found this book, this wonderful book, and it was called Songs America Voted By. I obviously stole from it completely. It's the name of the show. And it's a wonderful book. It's very interesting, very easy to read, lots of really accessible history. So what they would do, they didn't have commercials or radio so what they did was they put their platforms into songs. So we're going to perform for you songs that were used as commercials, really, since from the beginning, Washington, all the way to the 60s, when campaign singing went out of favor, because of course by then we had radio and television and other ways to put across platforms. So what we did was, I found this book, as I said, and in the book it had the lyrics to campaign songs. And it would say, it had the lyrics but not the music, and it would say, sung to the tune of. And so it was an opportunity for me to teach the choirs all these fabulous classic American folk songs. And but then I had to find arrangements for the tunes. That wasn't always easy. Then when I found, that suited the choirs, that weren't too hard for them, weren't too easy for them, that sort of thing, then I had to, this was the hard part, right? We had to write in the new lyrics into the arrangements for the songs. And sometimes they didn't go quite very nicely into the arrangements, and we were fiddling around, and it was a process. But I think we got it all together now to show you. So what we did also was, while I was in jury duty, the choirs were in the computer lab doing a project. And we had about six campaign songs per choir, and we were divided into groups, and the group was responsible for figuring out, with their campaign song, they figured out the history surrounding the campaign song and any sort of colloquialisms or stuff that we wouldn't understand today that was going on at that time. And they also did little bios about the lyricist or bios about the composer of the song. And they had some products that they had to come up with. They did a class presentation with a PowerPoint. They also had, each song has a poster, as you can see. We decorated the auditorium with the posters from their projects. And they came up with a slide, which you will see, because I wanted you to really see and hear the lyrics to these campaign songs. So we didn't sing all the verses. So only the lyrics that we're performing will be up on a slide. So the groups came up with a slide, and they're all decorated. And they also came up with like 5 sentences to introduce the campaign song to you. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a little different. As you can see, I've got everybody sitting here because we have twice as many songs to get through than we usually do, but I think we can do it. So applause is going to be to a minimum, please, and don't be insulted if we just barrel through, and we won't be insulted if you don't applaud, right? Because we know we have to get through all these songs. So then you can uproariously applaud at the end. But we're going to start, and it's going to go like this, I hope. And the reason I have them all sitting here is so that when one group finishes, the other one sits down and stands up, and we go from one to the other really quickly. I hope it goes quickly. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's so neat to see the auditorium so filled up. And house lights, please. We're going to begin.
God Saves Great Washington is a tribute to George Washington as well as a political slap in the face of Great Britain. The song's tune originates from God Saves the Queen, Great Britain's national anthem. Washington was a hero to the people and was even asked to become the King of America, but he refused and decided rather to be the president, something that awed the American people even more. The song is a dedication to George Washington's leadership, high moral standards, and all-around heroic qualities.
Set to the same tune as the Star-Spangled Banner, the song Adams and Liberty was written for Federalist John Adams, who was up for re-election in the election of 1800. The election was quite messy as the Federalist and Democratic Republican parties were very split. This song outlines the success of our nation, especially under the leadership of Adams, and the liberty that we have earned. It is an inspirational song that invokes a feeling of pride in America and in what Adams has done for our country.
The song we're singing next is a parody of Yankee Doodle. This parody was written in 1840 in favor of William Henry Harrison, who at the time was running for president. He ran in support of the Whig Party. However, he passed away just after 1 month as president. And with his death came the death of the Whig Party, which never truly resurfaced. This parody is titled Harrison and promotes his campaign for presidency. Hope you enjoy.
She's my their song Old Dan Tucker. The Hutchinson family singers were a group who took songs like this and set them to lyrics in support of certain social movements. They changed Old Dan Tucker into a protest song in support of the anti-slavery cause and used the metaphor of a train to say it. Entitled Get Off the Track, this song was introduced during the election between Henry Clay and James K. Polk. The writers of the song believed that neither candidate was good enough to end slavery, so the lyrics denounced them as well. Our next song, Wait Till November, was based on the song Wait for the Wagon by R.B. Buckley and was later parodied for the Whig Party candidate Winfield Scott in the election of 1852. The opposing Democratic candidate, General Pierce, was considered a dark horse candidate because no one expected him to be nominated. Even with such a great campaign song, the Whigs lost this election, and that marked the beginning of the end for their party. A Whig himself, Lewis D. Campbell, said, "We are slain. The party is dead, dead, dead," in reaction to the loss.
Goes is a campaign song from the 1852 election featuring Democratic candidates Franklin Pierce and William King. The word Loco Focos means a striking a match. They were a faction of the Democratic Party. General Scott's soup is a reference that Army Commander Scott makes in a letter that he wrote as a desperate attempt to salvage his reputation during the Mexican War. When he received a letter of dismissal, he immediately replied saying he was just about to sit down for a, quote, a hasty plate of soup.
Especially
We'll Give 'Em Jesse was a song written to the very popular tune of Wait for the Wagon for the candidate John C. Fremont in the election of 1856. During this time, We'll Give 'Em Jesse became a very popular phrase for what we would say today as We'll Give 'Em Hell. The city, Fremont, and many other streets in California were named after Fremont because he was previously governor of California in 1847.
Ye friends of freedom, rally now and push the cause along. We have a glorious candidate, a platform broad and strong. Free speech, free press, free soil, free men, free march, we have no fears. With such a battle cry, but that will beat the Buccaneers. We'll give a Jesse, we'll give a Jesse, we'll give a Jesse when we rally at the polls.
Today, politicians are constantly criticized, but out of all the 44 presidents, Buchanan, also known as Old Buck, the 15th president, was voted the worst in the history of the United States. His main goal during his term was to keep the country united, but that obviously did not work, because after his term ended, the Civil War began. John C. Breckinridge, his vice presidential candidate, was a coward. He fled the United States after the Union viewed him as a traitor. Even though they were the worst in the White House, we are going to sing you their campaign song, Buchanan and Breckinridge.
America now it is the hope for oppressed, and thousands on thousands we daily receive. They call us the land of the free and the blessed. The stranger and homeless pray never deceive, but teach them praise, teach banner it, that union's the password to save our fair land. Old Buck is the man for free men and slaves. United we stand, while our stars and stripes wave.
Songs have the power to emotionally affect people. They have long been used to a political effect. In 1853, the song Adams and Liberty was revamped to support Lincoln's election with a new name, Lincoln and Liberty. The song has strong messages of abolitionism and log cabin ideals. The song uses the term sucker, referring to a person from Illinois. One explanation of the term's origin comes from plants called suckers that leached off nutrients from tobacco plants. They were killed off, much like the poor Illinois settlers who died trying to settle in Illinois.
Hurrah for the choice of the nation, our chieftain so brave and so true. We'll go for the great Reformation, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, the hero of Hoosier John.
The song we're going to sing now is called Lincoln and Hamlin. Lincoln and Hamlin was found on a campaign poster on a street in New York City. The lyrics itself were published in 1860 by Henry de Marsan as part of the 1860 election. The song itself was full-on propaganda in support of the Republican candidates Abraham Lincoln and Hannibal Hamlin for president and vice president. Lincoln would later win the election by 180 electoral votes and nearly 2 million popular votes.
Come all ye friends of freedom and rally in each state for honest old Abe Lincoln, the people's candidate. With Lincoln as our champion, we'll battle for the right and beat the foes of freedom in next November's fight. Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah for Hamlin too! Oh, hurrah, hurrah for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Oh, hurrah for Lincoln! For Hamlin too! The Democrats are in a fix, no wonder that they shiver, for they all feel it in their bones as they're going up Salt River. With the party split asunder, the truth is plain to all, that though united once they stood divided, now they fall. Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Hurrah for Hamlin too! Oh, hurrah, hurrah for Lincoln! Hurrah, boys, for Lincoln! Oh, hurrah, hurrah for Lincoln! For Hamlin too!
Our next song is from the election of 1860 with John Bell from Tennessee with Edward Everett as his vice president running for the presidency under the Constitutional Union Party against Lincoln, Douglas, and Breckinridge. His campaign focused on keeping the Union together at all costs since the U.S. was on the brink of the Civil War, and he opposed the polarizing rhetoric of the other candidates. He used the song Campaign Rally Song to the tune of Boatman's Dance by Dan Emmett, which criticized Lincoln's political stance and was thus an important part of Bell's campaign.
Election day is coming fast, the Union flag nailed to the mast. Our cause is onward, just and free, the leaders Bell of Tennessee. Advance, boys, advance, advance, boys, advance, and fight for our cause, and our Union lost will be alright in the morning. Hi-ho, let 'em know, Bell and Everett, we all go. Hi-ho, let 'em know, Bell and Everett, we all go. They talk of Lincoln splitting rails and pushing blood scales without sails. Union rail he cannot split, for it's mighty tough and hard to hit. Advance, boys, advance, advance, boys, advance, and fight for our cause, and our Union cause will be alright in the morning. Hi-ho, let 'em know, Bell and Everett, we all go. Hi-ho, let 'em know, Bell and Everett, we all go.
The next song we're gonna sing is Rally Around the Cause Boys. The printing press company had 14 presses running simultaneously and still could not keep up with the demand. Louis Moreau Gottschalk, a famous composer, thought so highly of the song that in his diary he confided it should be our national anthem. The song went on to become a movie called Rally Around the Flag Boys. In the North, the song was loved, but in the South, they made a parody of the song called Lincoln's Campaign Song.
Rally round the cause, boys will rally in our minds, singing golden cause of freedom. We will battle for our union, the sacred cause of rights.
song is Grant's campaign ditty, written to the tune of When Johnny Comes Marching Home for General Grant's campaign after the Civil War. This was a very popular song because it was a marching song.
The song we are going to be singing next is called Now I Am the Leader of the Democracy. This song is a parody of the song When I Was a Lad from the opera HMS Pinafore by Gilbert and Sullivan. This song was written during the presidential election between James A. Garfield and Winfield Scott Hancock. The lyrics focus on making fun of Hancock and making him look like a bad presidential candidate by emphasizing that he only had a military experience and he only had a military education and no political experience.
Where the Republicans Go is a song set to the tune of In the Sweet By and By. It was written by the Democrats for the 1884 presidential election, which was held between Grover Cleveland, the Democratic nominee, and James G. Blaine, the Republican nominee. It refers to scandals the Republican Party had been involved in and the widows who were forced to pay taxes after their husbands were sent to war. With the help of this song, Cleveland won the election.
By and by.
Cleveland was the 22nd and 24th President of the United States. This song was written by Republicans who criticized Cleveland as a Confederate sympathizer due to the fact that he vetoed private pension bills for Civil War veterans. This song was used as propaganda to show voters that Cleveland often vetoed without reason and did not support military veterans. But the song did not provide enough of an impact to win the vote for Republicans.
Oh, that man once sat in the president's chair, singing veto, veto, veto. And his face was unwrinkled by sorrow or care, singing veto, veto, veto. I'm no use for these pensioners, Daniel said he, for my debts or their claims are all fiddle-dee-dee. And this is the way I will fix them, you see, with a veto, veto, veto.
The song His Grandfather's Hat is set to the tune of the song Grandfather's Clock, written by Henry Clay Work. It was written for Benjamin Harrison in the election of 1888. His grandfather, William Henry Harrison, the 9th President of the United States, was known for his hard cider campaign, which was very calm and laid back. The song was used to degrade Harrison, making fun of his short stature, 5'6", and suggesting that he could never compare to his grandfather in greatness, stature, or in brains. The song probably worked in the end because Grover Cleveland won the election.
His grandfather's hat is too big for his head, but Ben tries it on just the same. It fits him too quick, which has oft-times been said, with regard to his grandfather's fame. It was bought long ago, and it made a pretty show in the Jolly Hard Cider campaign. But it don't fit even a little bit on Benjamin Harrison's brain.
A new national anthem. The Greenback Party of 1878 wanted the government to print more money, to devalue the dollar, and make it easier for farmers to pay off their debts. The money ring in the song refers to politicians using liquor tax money to line their own pockets.
My country, 'tis of thee, once land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land of the millionaire, farmers with pockets bare, caused by the curses there, the money rains.
The Greenback Ticket song was written for the presidential candidate Benjamin Butler. The song is a parody of the original song Hold the Fort. The composer of the song is Philip P. Bliss. This song was written during the American Civil War when America was in the midst of corruption and bankruptcy.
All you people see the signal waving in the sky. Reinforcements now appearing, victory is nigh. Hold the fort, for we are coming, hear the people cry. We will vote the Greenback ticket, honest men will try. See corruption boldly
The Ben Butler song is set to the tune of Oh Susanna by Stephen Foster. This song promotes Ben Butler, nominated by a minority party for the presidency in 1884. He ran against Blaine in Cleveland, but he lost in the end.
Dreamt a dream the other night when everything was still. I thought I saw the butler's voice upon the White House hill. The White House door was open wide, the porter with a grin just made a bow and stepped aside, and Benjamin walked in. Oh, Blaine, Cleveland, why did you ever try? You might have known the working men would send you up sky high. The toilers swung their hats on high and shouted loud and long. 3 cheers for Benny Butler, boys, for he will right our wrong. 3 cheers for Benny Butler, boys, for he is bullet true. He'll give fair play to many boys and not enrich the few. Oh, Blaine, Cleveland, why did you ever try? You might have known the working men will send you up sky high.
This song was a campaign song supporting the presidential candidate from the Prohibition Party. Originally written as Marching Through Georgia, Horace B. Durant, the lyricist, wrote lyrics to this tune, changing it to Marching Through Rumland. The lyrics mocked the Republican and Democratic candidates for the presidential election of 1884 and the lack of control they had with the problem of alcohol. The next song is What a Weapon is the Ballot, which was written in support of Eugene V. Debs of the Socialist Party during the election of 1912. The song addresses the poor and discarded working class and has made an impact by motivating people to vote in order to better their situations.
Oh,
next song we'll be singing is titled, "Oh Dear, What Can the Matter Be?" This song was composed in the 1770s to the tune of an old parlor song. The lyrics themselves were written in the 1880s by L. May Wheeler. This song challenges the expectations of women at the time and was prompted by the women's suffrage movement in the mid-1800s. This resulted in a victory for the women's suffrage movement as the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920.
Written by Al Dubin, the song Al Smith was Democratic nominee Al Smith's campaign song in the election of 1928. It was written to the tune of The Sidewalks of New York, a slow and deliberate waltz meant to portray life in New York in the 1890s. Al Smith ended up losing his election to Herbert Hoover, who led the country into the Great Depression.
Everybody
yourself goodbye was written during the Great Depression when the stock market had crashed and the unemployment rate had been the highest of any other time period in the United States. The song was written by Wallace LeGrand Henderson to support Roosevelt during the 1932 presidential elections. People trusted that Roosevelt could bring the United States out of the Great Depression in comparison to Hoover. And Roosevelt had ended up winning the election as well as bringing the United States out of the Great Depression. He had won the election with a majority by about 43 electoral votes, and the candidates mentioned in the song to represent are Herbert Hoover and Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Our next song, Great Day, is based off the tune of a traditional African American spiritual. The lyrics were rewritten by an organization called People's Song that wrote music to create social change. The song is written in support of the Progressive Party candidates Henry Wallace and Glenn Taylor during the presidential election of 1948. It addresses social issues of the time, such as segregation and racial tensions.
Look for the
next song is titled High Hopes. High Hopes was a song originally written in the 1950s by Sammy Cahn and Jimmy Van Heusen for Frank Sinatra, a very popular singer at that time. During the 1960s election, Sammy Cahn, the original lyricist, changed the lyrics for John F. Kennedy's campaign. The lyrics promoted Kennedy's legitimacy against his opposition, Richard Nixon. High Hopes praised Kennedy, and it convinced many people to vote for him.